Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. India and Pakistan become full members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pitches for coordinated efforts to combat menace of terrorism. Curfew relaxed in Madhya Pradesh's Mandsaur district as situation improves in areas hit by farmer protests. 156 people arrested for the violent incidents during the farmers' agitation in the state. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee termed strike called by Gorkha Janmukti Morcha illegal. Normal life comes to a halt in the hills as the army stages flag marches in Darjeeling, Kurseong and Kalimpong. And British Prime Minister Theresa May's Conservative Party loses majority in general election. Verdict throws up a hung parliament for Britain with significant gains for the opposition Labour Party. Well, India and Pakistan became full members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization at the Astana summit on Friday. Speaking at the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India may have got the membership now, but India's relations with the group are long-standing. He also asserted that connectivity among SCO nations remains the top priority for India.
हमारी सदस्यता के समर्थन के लिए मैं SCO के सभी देशों का हार्दिक आभार प्रकट करता हूं.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanking all the members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization for their support after India became a member on Friday. In his address at the annual summit, Modi pitched for coordinated efforts among SCO members to combat terrorism. He hoped that India's entry into the bloc will give a new momentum to the group in dealing with terrorism.
आतंकवाद तथा अतिवाद के खिलाफ संघर्ष SCO के सहयोग का अहम भाग है. मुद्दा चाहे रेडिकलाइजेशन का हो, टेररिस्ट की रिक्रूटमेंट का, उनकी ट्रेनिंग का अथवा फाइनेंसिंग का, जब तक हम सभी देश मिलकर इस दिशा में कोऑर्डिनेटेड तथा सशक्त एफर्ट्स नहीं करेंगे, तब तक इन समस्याओं का समाधान असंभव है.
Modi spoke on the need to enhance connectivity in the region and said the key to boost trade and investment. He also called for efforts by the SCO to tackle climate change.
हम चाहते हैं कि कनेक्टिविटी हमारे देशों की भावी पीढ़ियों तथा समाजों के बीच सहयोग तथा विश्वास का मार्ग प्रशस्त करे. इसके लिए कनेक्टिविटी इनिशिएटिव्स अथवा परियोजनाओं की सफलता एवं स्वीकृति के लिए संप्रभुता तथा क्षेत्रीय अखंडता का आदर जरूरी तथा इनकी इंक्लूसिविटी तथा सस्टेनेबिलिटी आवश्यक है.
Earlier, Modi met Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines. They discussed bilateral matters and geopolitical developments in the region. This was the first meeting between the two after India stayed away from the One Belt, One Road Forum in Beijing last month.
Time of global uncertainty, India-China relations are a factor of stability. And as the world becomes more multipolar, it was important for India and China to work together more closely. I think there was also an understanding that where we have differences, it was important that differences should not become disputes.
Modi also met Uzbek President Shavkat Mirziyoyev on the sidelines of the SCO. The Prime Minister arrived in the Kazakh capital on Thursday for the two-day summit. Pakistan also joined the SCO as a member on Friday. India's membership was strongly pushed by Russia, while Pakistan's entry was backed by China. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, farmers across the country threatened to intensify their stir if their demands, including farm loan waiver, were not addressed by the government. Meanwhile, the situation in parts of MP's Mandsaur remained tense but under control with no report of fresh incidents of unrest. Joining me from Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh is our correspondent Ravindra Sharon. Ravindra Sharon, as far as the situation in Mandsaur is concerned, what is it like today?
Yeah, good evening, Frank. It is comparatively very peace and calmful today after the curfew has been relaxed by the administration today in the whole day from 10 to 6 o'clock. And a couple of incidents have been reported where there was city incidents in the neighborhood. Rest of the area is comparatively peaceful. The senior administration officials are in talk and the curfew for a couple of hours because that may be extended tomorrow as well after everything the situation. The chief minister and the other ministers are also closely watching the situation after the curfew today, which has been lifted. Gradually, the life which was paralyzed by the violence a couple of days back has been gradually coming back to the normalcy, and the people here could able to buy the vital goods like vital goods and dairy products, vegetables, and these things have also able to the supply could be restored today. But the administration had still remain on the tenterhooks as the agitation is spreading out from the Mandsaur and the neighboring districts, and even the farmers' organization from the neighboring states has also extended their support to the cause.
Ravindra Singh Sharon, thank you for joining me with those details. There seems to be some technical difficulty with the line there, so cannot really understand what he's saying too much. But if you could just gather what he was saying, that the situation has returned to normalcy and slowly is continuing to get better with each passing day. Of course, the police are still present in large numbers to ensure that the situation doesn't go out of control and doesn't go out of hand. Let's not forget 5 farmers were killed and the protests did break out earlier in the week. And since then, of course, we are told that 1 more person has died. It is still unclear as to how he has died, but farmers have said that he has died because the police beat him. Meanwhile, the hilly areas of North Bengal remain shut today over a strike call given by the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha. While the West Bengal government termed the strike illegal, State Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee remains stranded in Darjeeling along with many ministers and state officials. The army was also called out in many parts of Darjeeling and adjacent areas to maintain law and order. The roads were deserted as vehicles stopped plying. The state government requisitioned army presence in the areas near the border with Nepal and Bhutan. Border tourists remained stranded at the Bagdogra airport, even as the airport authority said that adequate arrangements were made for the passengers. The Gorkha Territorial Authority blamed Mamata for trying to impose her will on the hilly areas. They are also protesting against the imposition of Bengali as the second language in the hills, although the Chief Minister later said it would be optional. Our correspondent Akhilesh Suman joins us live from Siliguri right now. Akhilesh, what is the situation like over there? It seems quite tense from the visuals that we've seen on our screens.
Yeah, actually situation is very tense here because if you are in Darjeeling area, if you are in Kalimpong or Kursiang area, people are not being allowed since 6 a.m. in the morning up to 6 p.m. in the evening. Nobody is going, even drivers are refusing to go inside the hilly areas, and everyone, either they have come at 2 a.m. in the morning from Darjeeling with the help of their agents who have arranged vehicles for them. And I came and I talked to many tourists who were stranded at the airport. They told that we have to leave in a very dark night so that we are not caught unawares. So you know that many of the tourists who were on a vacation, who have come from distant areas like Delhi, many of them have come from Mumbai, many of them have come from Jaipur. They have come for a week-long vacation because you know that in summer season this area is very cool and it's a greenery all around and there are tea gardens. So everyone wanted to come here and they have all been gathered, all came down, and many of them are staying in Siliguri, that is very as hot as as Delhi or So it's really a very disappointing situation as far as tourists are concerned. But side by side, the drama is going on by the Trinamool Congress leaders. They have put up camps everywhere in Siliguri as a tourist help centers. I don't know what help they are providing. They are just sitting with some water bottles, and no tourist is concerned about water bottles. They have paid thousands of money to come here, and their money has gone wasted. And you know that ego clash is going on between Gorkha Janmukti Morcha and Trinamool Congress leader Mamata Banerjee, who wants to capture this area because this area, you know, the MP of this area is from BJP, and recently Banerjee has won one seat, that is Mirik seat, this is assembly constituency, and her confidence has bolstered that yes, she can entrench into this area. So she has announced, and she is starting treating the Gorkha areas the same way as she treats the other plains of West Bengal, like South West Bengal. That is all plain, and that is a different culture altogether. So there is an anger in the Gorkha area that we can't accept such type of imposition by the West Bengal government. And there has been negotiation in the past, and everything was going on very smooth. But all of a sudden, over activism of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, people are telling that she is failing to understand the sentiments of the Gorkha people who have been serving in the army, and who has been the citizen in a different way, who has been serving the country, but they need to be treated very differently, not like other Bengalis. So this is the disenchantment in the area, and you know, the Mamata Banerjee is sitting there, not that she is stranded, but rather she is sitting there. She wants to show that I am mighty enough to sit in this area, and you can launch your movement as long as you want. So this type of obstinacy is working in this area, and Gorkha people are also very adamant that we cannot allow such type of imposition, and this is the situation in this whole surrounding.
Indeed. You know, Akhilesh, as far as the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha is concerned, what is it that they are demanding? What is it that is not being done for them that they are protesting now?
See, one of the demands that there should not be any imposition from West Bengal government, because Gorkha Territorial Authority actually thinks itself as an autonomous region. They have some administrative powers, and so they want to feel that it is their own governance type of, so that there should be no outside imposition from Calcutta. So this is a sentimental issue, emotive issue that they have been enjoying this type of, right from left front government. You know that Gorkhaland movement was very violent and furious, but it was negotiated, and then Gorkha Hill Council was made. But when Mamata Banerjee came in power, she made Gorkha Territorial Authority. So name was changed. So that was also a bit setback to the Gorkha people, that why the name was changed at all. Instead of increasing the power of the Gorkha people, just the names, the window dressing is being done. And they are demanding that there should be no imposition. Mamata Banerjee threatening that we will audit in the Gorkha Territorial Authority, and they are also feeling threatened. Mr. Gurung, who is also in a way who is also facing charges of some sort of embezzlement of funds. So he is trying to mix the administrative mismanagement with the cultural issues, and that is creating some sort of difference between mainland West Bengal and this Gorkha areas.
All right, Akhilesh Suman, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those updates. Moving on, now the Supreme Court on Friday stayed the government's order to make Aadhaar card mandatory for PAN card holders and for filing of income tax returns. The Apex Court, however, added that those who have Aadhaar must provide its details while filing ITR. It also said that PAN card without an Aadhaar number will not be treated invalid. On privacy issues, the Supreme Court asked the government to take appropriate steps to prevent leakage of personal details from the Aadhaar scheme. The court was hearing a batch of petitions challenging the constitutional validity of a provision in the IT Act making Aadhaar mandatory for filing ITR and allotment of PAN. Political parties, including the Congress, welcomed the order.
The Supreme Court has upheld the validity of the law. That's the first step. saying that Parliament has power to make this law. There is nothing wrong with this law. That's the first step. Second, the court has said that everybody who is an income tax payee and who has an Aadhaar card must necessarily, compulsorily link his card with PAN and give the details thereof.
I don't use the word setback. I think this is just the court cooperating and collaborating with Parliament to find an appropriate scheme of things. And the court has certainly, I think, gone quite a distance in supporting what the Parliament has done.
Let's take a look now at some more developments from across the country and nationwide. Two former Bihar Chief Ministers Lalu Yadav and Jagannath Mishra appeared in the fodder scam case before a special CBI court in Ranchi on Friday. The case relates to withdrawal of 97 lakh rupees illegally from Deoghar Treasury. The trial was reopened after an order by the Supreme Court. Congress leader Baba Siddiqui appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in connection with the money laundering case. The case relates to alleged irregularities in the 400 crore rupees sum rehabilitation project in Bandra. Earlier, the probe agency raided several premises of Siddiqui on May 31st. Normal life was disrupted on Friday in many parts of Kashmir in view of the strike called by the separatists. This comes in the wake of raids by the NIA in the valley and the killing of a civilian during a search operation in Kashmir's Shopian district. Security forces have been deployed across the valley to maintain law and order. The CBSE on Friday moved the Supreme Court challenging the Madras High Court order NEET 2017 results. The CBSE made an urgent mention before the top court to lift the stay on the declaration of the results. The court will hear the matter on June 12th. Madras High Court had granted an interim stay alleging that a uniform question paper was not given during the examination. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The art of painting comes to us from the prehistoric period. Paintings are also a valuable source of information about their age. Like this depiction of the wedding procession of Dara Shikoh. The eldest son of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan had a Mughal wedding with distinctive Indian elements. Like the veil he wears to the pomp and show of the Bharat in Hindu weddings.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, British Prime Minister Theresa May met the Queen a short while ago seeking her permission to form a government. May has already announced her intention to form a new government that will lead Britain in Brexit talks with the European Union. May had called these snap elections to try and strengthen her mandate ahead of Brexit talks. But in a sensational night, a resurgent Labour Party denied her an outright win, throwing the country into political turmoil as no clear winner emerged.
At this time, more than anything else, this country needs a period of stability. And if, as the indications have shown, if this is correct, that the Conservative Party has won the most seats and probably the most votes, then it will be incumbent on us to ensure that we have that period of stability, and that is exactly what we will do.
British Prime Minister Theresa May is attempting to stay in office despite a shocking result in the snap election. The polls could define her prime ministership as being the worst in history. Labour Party's Jeremy Corbyn has urged May to quit, saying Labour is ready to serve.
She fought the election on the basis that it was her campaign, it was her decision to call the election, it was her name out there, and she was saying she was doing it to bring about strong and stable government. Well, this morning it doesn't look like a strong government, it doesn't look like a stable government, it doesn't look like a government that has any programme whatsoever.
The Tories are 8 seats short of the 326 needed to command a majority, down 12 seats. The Labour Party, led by Jeremy Corbyn, on the other hand, has won 261 seats, a gain of 29. May needs the stability she talks about, with the start of Brexit negotiations just 10 days away. For now, the Democratic Unionist Party, which has won 10 seats, has decided to back a minority administration. The two parties are expected to go confidence and supply partnership, which essentially means an informal arrangement that could see DUP lending support on a vote-by-vote basis. Labour Party has said it is ready to form a minority government, but even if it is joined by the SNP, Lib Dems, Green Party and Plaid Cymru, it gives them just 313 seats, 13 short of the magic figure.
This is a disaster for Theresa May. You know, she called an election clearly very arrogantly, thinking that she was going to crush the opposition, sweep everybody aside and cruise to a landslide majority. You know, her position, I think, is very, very difficult. Now, you know, we have to wait and see how things shake out. But, you know, I've always said the SNP would want to be part of a progressive alternative to a Tory government.
What all parties need to remember now is that Brexit negotiations are just 10 days away.
The government in office in 11 days' time will have to conduct those Brexit negotiations. Our position is very clear. We want a jobs-first Brexit. Therefore, the most important thing is the trade deal with Europe, and I would have thought perhaps a good gesture from Parliament would be to vote now to agree that all EU nationals can remain in Britain.
The European Council's President Donald Tusk has warned that London faces a firm deadline to complete talks, and any delays in starting them raise the risk of no deal. EU officials say time is tight to negotiate the divorce. They are also concerned at May's threats to prefer no deal to a bad deal. Such an outcome would be damaging to both sides. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Qatar dismissed a list of released Saudi Arabia and its allies that designated dozens of people and entities with alleged links to Qatar as terrorists. Reacting to the list that names 59 people for terror links, Qatar said in a recent joint statement issued by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Egypt and the UAE regarding the terror finance watch list, once again reinforces baseless allegations that hold no foundation in fact. Adding that Qatar does not support terrorist groups, and the statement further said its position on countering terrorism is stronger than many of the signatories of the joint statement, a fact that has been conveniently ignored by the authors. The list included names of Muslim Brotherhood spiritual leader Yusuf al-Qaradawi and 12 Qatari entities. Among the Qataris named are prominent businessmen, politicians and senior members of the ruling family. Meanwhile, Turkey approved a law to deploy Turkish troops in Qatar, signaling support for the Gulf country after several countries cut diplomatic ties over its alleged support for terrorism earlier this week. Well, here's a roundup of the other international news and global buzz. At least 22 civilians were killed and dozens injured in a Saudi-led airstrike in western Yemen. The incident took place after missiles launched by the fighter jets of the Arab Alliance hit a market. Japan's parliament on Friday passed a law to allow Emperor Akihito's Crown Prince Naruhito's son to ascend the throne. The upper parliament passed the bill 235 in favor. Details of Emperor Akihito's abdication are yet to be released by the government, but it is likely to take place in 2018. Aged 83, Emperor Akihito has previously gone through heart surgery and treatment for prostate cancer. Islamic State claimed that the two Chinese nationals abducted from Quetta last month have been killed. This comes after Pakistan released details of three-day operation in the Mastung area of Balochistan targeting IS's facilitators, in which 12 militants were killed. The Chinese nationals were kidnapped on May 24th. South Korea will continue to work with Washington on the deployment of the US anti-missile system THAAD. Seoul said that the decision to postpone the full deployment of the THAAD system was a domestic measure to ensure a democratic process, further adding that the THAAD system is aimed at defending the growing threat of North Korea. That's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.